Hello, as the title of the stream suggests, I'm feeling a bit better today. I was better yesterday than I was Friday by quite a long shot, and I'm feeling a bit better today than I did yesterday, so that's all good. Stream will probably only be an hour though, because I don't want to sort of drag it on too long, because I am quite tired. Hopefully, in the next day or two I'll catch up on a load of missed sleep. Right, Pete, you right, Alfie? If you can hear ticking in the background, it's because I've got that DIY style Geiger counter running on the Soviet SBM 20 style tube in the background. Seems to be clicking away fine. Yeah, and don't forget to like the stream, like Sebastian says. Good shout, Sebastian. Says there's 24 people on, so obviously people have seen the stream. That's good. And just to prove that does actually work and it's not just ticking away at random intervals, let's grab this and put this near it. Ooh, that's a bit of an interesting noise, isn't it? Oh, screams, like literally screams. Now, can I make this turn, the Crocs machine or whatever it's called, with this? I'm not sure, it certainly shakes, but yeah. I'll put this back over here, out of, not close to me, because I don't want that close to me when I'm streaming, but yeah, it's quite interesting in making them make that noise. I wonder what the CB thingy bob sounds like if I do that. Let's just turn him on. He makes quite a nice clunky click noise. So yeah, let's see what he sounds like if I put this near him. Right, ready? Radio static, basically. That's just because it's a different pitch to the speaker. I'll flick him back off, but oh, that's cool. Thank you, drum player. But good evening to everybody. Drum player 2000 says, please shout him out. He's subscribed. There you go. But yeah, that's the thing I find annoying sometimes when you see films and somewhere's meant to be horribly irradiated and it's just like a fast clicking noise. It's like, no, when it's scary, it actually makes a screeching noise because the clicks can't even sound an individual click. It's like paper ripping, like with gunfire. If you have somewhere that's so radioactive, you won't actually hear the individual clicks. It just becomes a screech at that point. The one gas mask in the back next to the Geiger counter. That one there are you looking at? That is the German VM44 Volksmask or Volksmask 44, like the last ditch German mask that was made of kind of like a canvasy material. So yeah, the last sort of Nazi German gas mask, the one that they made for just civilians, I imagine probably soldiers as well at the end because it was so cheap. I'll get it up so you can see it a bit closer. I've got paper stuffed in it so it keeps its shape. Also, my stream might get demonetized in a second because there's a stamp on here that's definitely not advertiser friendly. I've done a video on it, but right, if you want to see it up close, this is the sort of material it's made out of. It's certainly not airtight anymore. Also, you can see my fingers have chemical burns on them there. That's just from work, nothing exciting. Because I don't bother wearing gloves at work because it's a pain in the ass, so I just use my skin and burn them. So that's what it looks like. You've got your exhale valve there. 40mm DIN intake valve there, very basic rubber and sort of fabric head harness. Then the inside the mask would just be like that. But the reason it's not advertiser friendly, if I can find where it is on the mask, it's not the easiest thing to spot. Hope it's not completely worn off. I doubt it has, because it was there last time I looked at it. Ah, there he is. Right. This is why it's not advertiser friendly if it goes into focus. There we go. The Reich Eagle or whatever it's called. It says, I think WAA721 or something is the serial number. Yeah, I've got an S10. I've got two S10s. I've got an FM12 and a CT12. Wow, there's not much to it, Hans, other than just pushing them in or pulling them out really hard. Probably can't, but due to YouTube rules that they're changing and all the UK rules and the EU rules, it's just not worth doing. If I could get some just for my own personal collection, not even necessarily to do videos on, sure. But the issue is that some of them just end up being so expensive it's not worth it, and I can't show them on streams now anyway because of the legislation. I've got one CT12, one FM12, two S10s. So if you want to see the CT12, I can get that out. We'll see if he fits all right with mask I've got on as well. Right, what I just want to check is because that Crocs device, whatever it's called, isn't moving at the moment. I just want to see, does this actually make it shake, or is that just a coincidence? I think that must have been a coincidence then. That'll screech if I get that close to it. If you're wondering what's in here, it's just simply radium dust, not even pure radium dust, and some old British mirrors from the British World War II compasses that had radium paint on them. One of these just has radium watch hands in, actually. That's that one. And some of these are just radium dust and old radium like instrument panel markers. But yeah, your skin will actually start looking like that if you handle radium too long. But that isn't from radium, it's from sodium hydroxide. If I hold that close enough to the camera, you'll start seeing white flashes hit the camera. But it's not always easy to show that on stream, unfortunately. Let me just try it with these two. Hang on. Right, let me know if you start seeing white spots. Oh yeah, you can see a few. When you see the white spots flash on the screen, that's gamma rays going through the webcam. Anyway, I'll put that back down there. The mini monitor is on. You can't hear it. There we go. There you can hear it. I'll flip him back off. But yeah. Anyway, what I was going to do for the people who are interested is get the CT12 out and put it on with the helmet. The fast helmet. Not the fast helmet. The, what's it called, helmet? Right, there could be two things. One thing is like the anti-fog paste, anti-dimming paste. What that is stuff that's just designed to stop the lenses fogging up on the inside. Or it could literally be stuff for mustard gas on old masks. So what it is you put it on your skin to reduce the damage mustard gas does. Yeah, it could be either. And I wouldn't know without seeing what it looks like. Right. As for saying, will you go to Chernobyl? Well, as I've said several times, I want to go to Chernobyl this year. I could afford to. The problem is at the moment trying to find a company where you can book it all with and it's all easy to do. Because at the moment, every single one I've looked into doesn't include flights, requires you to, book a load of things outside of it. So it's a real pain in the ass. Right. Let's see how well this helmet fits with this mask. Because this is my favourite helmet, so I hope it fits in my favourite mask, okay? Well, good, it does. Right, that's good to know. So I won't be able to do the strap up because I've not got the strap extender for like NBC use. But in terms of just simply wearing the helmet with the mask, yeah, that works. So I'll sit up here like that and just lean closer to the chat to read it. All right, Mike. Hope you're all right. But Moschio, if it's from 1941, I assume it's anti-mustard gas paste. It will all be like completely useless at this point. But it was some kind of like almost skin cream that was meant to reduce the effect blister agents had on the screen. So on the skin, sorry. So basically, see this finger? I'm not sticking my middle finger up at you. See how that's got like a chemical burn on it? It's kind of to reduce stuff like that. But that chemical burn is not from chemical weapons. It's nothing as interesting as that. It's working with chemicals that work. And, being too lazy to put on gloves because gloves make my hands slip on things. So I'd rather just get burnt skin and actually deal with it properly. Favourite crisps? Probably McCoy's Thai sweet chili. The ones I think are like a light blue colour packet. So it's kind of just like a paprika kind of one, like a spicy paprika flavour. Otherwise, like chicken crisps or like some of the varieties of chicken crisps, but they don't even contain chicken, do they? Chicken crisps, it's just like some sort of vegetable starch flavouring. Yeah, completely by accident, Richard. It's just that's the finger that happens to have a burn on it. And it's just quite an interesting burn to show off, unless YouTube now demonetizes the video for gore or something. If it wants to focus. What if I put that other hand behind it? There we go. Sodium hydroxide chemical burn. From just working with quite a lot of sodium hydroxide cleaning the other day and going, fuck wearing gloves, it's too, too slow. No, my house, I'd be illegible anyway. I don't know if they just let tourists go in there. I know perfectly well what it is, but I don't think it's one of those places you can just wander in as a tourist. Doesn't really hurt. At least with chemicals like that, they cauterize it, as and when they do it. Not really. The only way you could send it, Noskio, easily, put it on somewhere like Imgur, and then post the comment in a regular comments, because it will go into spam and I'll have to approve it, where I can then basically have a look. The webcam is a Logi, it's like the Logitech 1080p one. I can't remember the actual name of it because it isn't printed on the front, which is annoying. Don't forget to like the stream if you've just joined. But yeah, it's pretty good. Of course, I can make static appear on it using gamma rays, but, other than that. I wonder if my AM241 causes interference on the webcam. Let's have a look, because that gives off a bit of gamma. But it's mostly an alpha emitter, so I doubt it'll do anything to the webcam, but it's worth having a look. So yeah, here's a bit of AM241 from a smoke alarm. Let's hold that up to the lens. Nah, it doesn't do much. So yeah, it is mostly just gamma on this webcam. It's like when I tried Strontium 90 on it, it didn't do much either. I use this bit of AM241 to test my British Radiac type thing. It's not in the bag at the moment. What do you mean by chicken salt? She just have no idea what you're on about. Oh, what my house says. No, I've used regular salt. So what's chicken salt then? Is it like ground up chickens into salt? Is it something completely different? Also, just for anybody wondering, in the UK, we call crisps, we call chips crisps, and chips are like big French fries. Hello to Switzerland. I don't know if I've got anything Swiss handy to hold up, even though I've got some Swiss militaria around the place. Like the old Swiss Alpenflage, or whatever its proper name was, something Munster Camouflage. My Swiss gas mask isn't in this room. Oh, I have got a Swiss helmet. Hang on. A bit more retro than the current helmet I've got on, but there, for the Swiss person, there's an old Swiss style helmet. I've already answered you, drum player, so don't spam the question. I said, if you're a civilian, I doubt they'd let you in. But I won't be able to get the strap down, so I'll just have it folded up there. But, that doesn't really fit with this mask, actually, unlike the other helmet. Oh, the M18 Stout helm. Yeah, they were pretty mass-produced. I've got two of these, one without the liner, this one with a liner, although this is the late-gen liner, not the early one. But yeah, I'm kind of a bit spoiled now. I've got this really nice helmet that I can just put on with everything. Yeah, well, on some of the covers to Metro, you have got guys of FM12s or S10s or whatever they are on. Okay, cool. So it says basically what they put in chicken flavor crisps, because most chicken flavor crisps don't contain chicken. They've just got they're like regular crisps with some sort of seasoning on, because they're suitable for vegetarians. So it's basically that then. That sounds cool. I'd love to get that as a salt, actually, just to put on random things, because I like chicken flavor crisps. Yeah, this helmet goes well with pretty much every mask. I'm going to do a video soon testing this helmet with loads of different masks, and testing this helmet with the night vision attached with loads of different masks to see how well that functions. Let me just try that a second with this one. Let me just get him on. Now, would this work all right? I know I've not got any of the strap systems adjusted or anything, but I'm just wondering. would this work? Where's the bloody thing? There he is. Oh yeah, I can see through that pretty well. Yeah, I'd obviously need it more close like that, but yeah, that actually does line up with my eye well enough. I can't take this bit off because otherwise it would burn the night vision out with a bright light. But yeah, in terms of can I see through the night vision fine with my actual eye, yeah, that sees surprisingly well. If anybody wants to see what that looks like, obviously you only see the sort of very let me just take it off again a moment and then I can hold it up to the camera better. There you go. That's obviously not got the front cover open to let. It's only got like 1/10 of the light going into it or whatever. There you go. But yeah, that does actually work properly with a CT12. That's really good actually. So yeah, it's good to know my favourite gas mask actually works with this helmet and night vision absolutely fine. So let's flick him back off. There we go. Let's double check that's off. So that's on. There you go, all the way to off. Whereabouts in Germany are you from? I've only been to, I think it was Bavaria when I was in Germany. Oh, what's everybody asking where I'm from? I'm from England, for the people asking. So Stug's from Ireland, some Germans on here. Although I guess the Germans I get on my streams are Germans with a sense of humour, because now and again I will get a German who just doesn't get any jokes. But I guess most of the Germans who watch regularly actually have a sense of humour. So you should be a national treasure for Germany, because there we go, I'm insulting people again, because so many Germans just can't take a joke. Well, that's cool, Mike. I'll be at rehearsal until 10 PM, but a bit after 10 PM I'll be on Twitch. I'll probably end up having quite a busy day tomorrow, so I don't think it'll be until Tuesday. I almost get a sit-down day at the moment. Were you on at the beginning, Mike, when I made the Geiger counter really, really scream? If not, I'll do it again. But I sure do love playing with radium. This is definitely my favourite helmet so far. This is a British, what's it called? Virtus, like bolt skin revision. It's not really technically a British helmet. It's one they just buy under license from a US company. But it's very similar to the US ECH, so it's one of those thermoplastic helmets. So, you know, it's stronger than Kevlar, but it's also quite lightweight. And it's got a very, very good liner, which is the other reason I like it, because, you know, you can adjust the liner really easily. But yeah, right, Mike, if you want to hear this noise, let me just do it again. Listen to the pitch change on this, it's quite incredible. It's quite an interesting noise, isn't it? I think most people know a nuclear power plant works, don't they? Actually, no, saying that, for most people, I have no idea how a nuclear power plant works, but using the heat created from fission to boil water to turn turbines. That's how a nuclear power plant works. That's how they all work. Oh, I prefer that noise to nails down a blackboard, Peach. Yeah, doing a lot better today, Soren, thank you. Probably that pewter one, my house, that gets asked every stream, and it's still the same answer. Right, any other gas masks I've got handy that people want to see if this helmet fits with? Because I might as well do some more on the stream. I could try the PMK3 if anybody wants to see it. I'm sure it would work absolutely fine with that. But let me just get this guy off. And yeah, that's the advantage of having a moustache, not a beard. The masks fit and make a seal properly. If you have a beard, they won't. Hence why moustaches were fashionable after World War I again. Right. Let's get this packed back away, and then I'll have a look for any other masks I've got handy. If they're on a mannequin head, by the way, I'm not going to take them off because they're the ones that I've already got pre-adjusted for the mannequin heads. But I will certainly put this guy. Well, I've already put him on, but you know, I'll certainly try the PMK3 of the thing. I think I did that on another stream on somebody else, but I'll do it again in a minute. The GSR, I don't have it in this room. I can list you some other masks in a minute that are up on that shelf. The GSR is not in this room. I've got it away in a cupboard where it doesn't fall off the shelf constantly due to being oversized. No, I'm not doing any videos on MREs because I have no interest in them, especially when they cost a stupid amount of money for something you eat once and then it's gone. Because, yeah, like £20 or whatever for a lot of MREs is like, I could buy a mask for that, you know. I could buy a cheapish steel pot helmet for that, you know. Nothing other than what I normally do. Food in the cupboards. There's bottles of water if we need it in case the pipes freeze. I'm not a prepper anyway. There's essentials in the car in case I'm out anywhere in the car and need it. Right, so PMK3. Right, see if it's not Soviet. I'll take it's Russian, isn't it? Not Soviet, but any gas mask will warm your face to an extent, assuming the mask isn't really cold when you put it on. There's pictures of German soldiers on the Eastern Front in World War II wearing masks to keep their faces warm rather than being cold. Right, so bear in mind I'm not a fan of this mask, but let's see. I imagine it will work absolutely fine. Yeah, there we go. So to answer the question, if anybody even asked it, that works fine with this mask. Definitely prefer the CT12 to this thing. Right. What other masks are handy? Just to test if they work. I know I've got one of those Chinese masks behind me, but I was trying to look for an actual proper old-fashioned military one. The S10 isn't worth bothering with because that we know already works as the CT12 works. Avon M50 I included in the video. I could try that French mask. Let's have a look. Okay, there's the mask. Let's chuck a filter on it. There's an open filter at the back there, isn't there? I don't have that handy, I'm afraid, Shebus. I don't actually even have a Draeger Simplex full stop. I've got the, what's it called version? Oh, that's fold up. Is that damaged, or is it just like a condensation thing? Because that wasn't as bad as that when I first had that. That's interesting. It's been its carrier at this entire time. Oh. I'm trying to see, is this actually clearing, or has this visor had it? Well, I know these have similar problems to the Polish MP5s, where they made the visor out of a material that wasn't, you know, all that rigid. Oh, not rigid, that's not the right word. You know, tough against sort of going off colour and, you know, discolouring, being eaten away by chemicals, warping, all that sort of stuff. That's helped a bit. Right, anyway, we were going to try it, weren't we, with the helmet? It's got the weird French strap system. Right. That flush. Yeah, just about. Yeah, so that works for this helmet as well by the look of it. Now, we might as well just test while I've got it out. Does the night vision work with this as well? If I can line it up without seeing it. Which is, again, easier said than done. There we go. Now, can I line this up properly? It's actually not as good as the CT12, but it seems to be working just about. It'd be better if obviously I wasn't in the lit room and I could open the full cover, but this night vision was about 230 quid. The RRP on it is about I think about 350 actually. But I bought like kind of a brand new-ish condition second-hand one, so that was absolutely fine. It's like a very high-end Gen 1 night vision, Gen 1 Plus. Yeah, can I get that to a slightly better angle? All right, let me just try pressing. Where's that button? Because I can't see it from the side. There. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not bad with this mask, but it's actually a lot better with the CT12. GSG9 mask, I don't recognise the name of it. Do you mean the mask that the German GSG9 would use, or what? All right, Brittany. Let's see if I can get this off. There we go. I'd assume they'd have just used whatever the German military mask was of the period, wouldn't they? So either probably the M65 or the M2000. I don't have an M2000, but I've got an M65. This helmet, Simon, is called the, I think it's something like, its proper name is the Boltskin Cobra Revision 2 or Revision Plus. It's also known as the Virtus helmet or the Virtus helmet. It's not technically the Mark 8 helmet, but I suppose you could call it the Mark 8 helmet. But it's the current British Army helmet. It's not really British designed or anything. It's just an American helmet that Britain's bought the rights to use. Is the M65 handy? Right, it's on the very corner of that shelf. If I move the webcam that way, right, see... Oh, I can't show you that because the Lee Enfield's there, so never mind. Sorry, no, you can't see it. It's on the corner of that shelf, but I have to hide it. Not really, Peach, just because of the case that I can't use them, and a lot of them would take up a lot of space. If I saw them cheap enough, I'd buy them. But a lot of the time, like horse gas masks, when you see them for sale, they're several £100s and they're really bulky. So, you know, it'd be something that I couldn't really make use of other than doing a video or two about it, and then it would take up loads and loads of room. Yeah, cheers me, like, I'm feeling a lot better than I did Friday. I'm still not, you know, completely back to normal yet, but I'm better than I was the other day. If you mean against vapors, Iron Man, it's really impossible to say. It will depend on the size of the filter, you know, various things. Most filters are rated like 8 to 24 hours, something like that, according to the manufacturers. So, you know, if it's more normal to not, you know, toxic air, it will last a lot longer. But once you've opened it, you are kind of, you know, shortening the life of the filter. Oh, there's no German stuff in the chat, is there, at the moment? I haven't spotted any German. Mein Deutsch ist nicht gut. Sprechen Sie English? Danke, Tommy. A French M51? What do you mean, my house? The M51's filter intake is in, like, the chin, and then it goes up through the Tissot tube bits in the eyes. If the seals work properly when you take the filters off, yes, SpongeBob. No, not really, Mosquito. I buy a lot of stuff on eBay. Don't really sell on it. My dad sells stuff on eBay, and I help him do it now and again, because he doesn't really know what he's doing, other than, you know, like buying stuff and reselling it. But my main thing is buying through eBay. It depends, Iron Man. If it's a particulate filter, yes, it's clogged in the sense you'll struggle to breathe through it. Charcoal filters, you can smell through them. As in, when you use a filter that works and you breathe through them, you won't be able to smell anything because all the odors are removed from the air. When you have a like vapor filter and it just smells like normal air, it means the filter's run out, basically. But that's only with particulate filters they clog. Vapor filters won't, because it's with particle filters that basically, as the dust builds up in them, it gets harder and harder to breathe through them. eBay. It's the current British Army one, so they get sold on eBay. This one I was pretty lucky to get, because I won't show you the serial number, but it wasn't issued. 250 quid, so £250 for a current military edition thermoplastic helmet that hasn't even been issued. That's pretty damn good. That probably also means that the MOD wouldn't like me to have it, but oh well. They shouldn't have made sure it went on the surplus market then, should they? But again, these helmets, you can get them for a bit less than that if they're a bit banged up. If, you know, you can sometimes get them less on bids if not a lot of people bid on them on auction. Sometimes they go for more. Which one's that, Stug? Let me Google it. I assume it's a type of NBC suit, is it? Oh, it's the one with the cape. Right, a thing to warn you about those, like, not warn you about them because they're cool, but you can get sometimes you can get other Warsaw Pact nations of them, Stug, a lot cheaper. I mean, sometimes you will find the green Soviet ones for a decent price. I've not actually got one personally, but sometimes I've seen on eBay, like the Polish or Romanian ones or something, go on eBay for like 20 quid, whereas like the Soviet ones are often like closer to 100. So in that scenario, I'd say go for the one in like a grey or a brown colour rather than the green, and save £80 on it, or whatever currency you're going to use. If you mean like the S10, most of them have all since been sold on now, Soviet Union. Army surplus stores did sell them at one point, and then the government also pressured them not to sell it, so who knows, but you can buy them easily enough as surplus. That's not a bad price for it, SpongeBob. Was it a Mark 6 or a Mark 6A? For €45, the best bit of that, if it was a regular Mark 6, is the right visor. If it's a Mark 6A, that's a pretty good deal. Not really guns and gas masks. S6s don't turn up all that often, so when they do, £30 is like the best you're ever going to get one for, and generally you're not that lucky to get them at that price. Yeah, if it's €90, Stug, see if you can get one for like 20 to 30 euros if you get like another Warsaw Pact derivative of it. You know, they're pretty much the exact same suits, sometimes they're different colours. What about Hong Kong? If you're going to get politics in it, don't bother bringing it up, Jadis, because we don't talk about politics on here. What, as in outserts, Cougar? Because they made less of them than the actual masks themselves, if that's what you're asking. If it's $30, literally buy it now. That's a very good price. in pounds, that's like £25 to £30. Yes, go for it if you found one for that price. Most people can't even find a CT12 when they want to buy one, let alone for that price. They probably say Liam, because why would they? If they're coming into the room, they want to talk to me, don't they? Should who use an NBC suit? Yeah, Simon. I mean, you could either cut a hole in the scrim net and fit a night vision monocular through it, or you could just put the night vision close enough to your eye anyway that you'd see through the scrim net and it wouldn't make a difference. The thing is with a scrim net is when it's right over your eyes in front of your face, your eyes kind of focus through it. It's a bit like if you held up chicken wire to your eyes like that, you see through it because your eyes don't focus on it. Yeah, I saw the one Mike who was saying, "Can you fuck my wife or something, or can I fuck your wife or something? Where can I find people's wives to fuck?" I was listening to that one and I thought that was quite funny when you're saying, "Oh, I don't know, mate. You have to ask somewhere else," that kind of one. But if there were any more after that, I must have missed them because that must have been after I basically was falling asleep and turned the PC off. eBay, Veronica, they're literally cheapest on eBay and you've got the most selection. British Mark 6 helmets, British Mark 7 helmets. These ones fit with the S10. In terms of other nations' helmets, without trying a load of the S10, I don't actually know. Yeah, 40 for VM40 if it's in good condition. $50 is a very good price. Thank you, Average Joe. Yeah. Oh, it's like the current military one. That's why it's pretty damn good. The liner on this is fantastic as well. I know I've showed it a few times, but it's just the fact you've got that like kind of adjustable. Where is it? There we go. You can just literally do this, and the helmet expands or closes, so you can fit it to your head really easily. And obviously, all the straps are adjustable as well, but it's just that is what makes this helmet fantastic in my opinion, that you can just literally put it on, tighten that till you've got a good fit, and then that's it, it's done. There's no messing about pulling any cables inside and spending like 30 minutes taking the helmet apart to tighten everything to put it back together. Yeah, if to be honest, Peach, I imagine it was invented for bike helmets first, and then a military company said, why can't we literally just do that with a military helmet? Rather than having a strap system where, to give you a good comparison, I like these German one, but where, you have to tie that bit, however tight or loose you want it, and then adjust everything else, with like little bits and all that for getting the tightness of all the other bits adjusted. It makes a lot more sense if you can just literally do that to expand it or tighten it. You have to ask the seller, CT12. I can't tell you if the seller wants to ship to your country or not. I'm not psychic. FM12 has a drinking tube, CT12 doesn't. That's the main difference. Yeah, it's still my favourite gas mask. Even when it gets asked on every stream, it's still my favourite mask. And for the person saying, do I drink? If you mean alcohol, yes. Not every day. Some days, yes. Some days not. I've had one. Well, I had a double shot earlier, but that was it. But that was a couple of hours ago. Probably it's still in my system a little bit, but not all that much. It depends on the model of NBC suit. The problem with the British NBC suits is the Mark 3 and 4, which are the most common ones, require them to be very new to be still functional because they're charcoal lined. So yeah, that's the issue with British NBC suits, of course, that by the time they're on the surplus market, they're mostly expired. You can still use them for a lot of purposes, just not, I wouldn't recommend them for heavy sort of chemical contamination use. This stops 9mm, and this is pretty thin. These German M56. No idea what that is because I don't have calipers on me, but it's mostly down to the angle of the helmet and the quality of the steel. But obviously, Kevlar and thermoplastic helmets are much better when it comes to stopping pistol rounds, because steel helmets originally were just designed to stop shrapnel. The streets outside my house, SpongeBob. The streets in most places in the world. Why would I make a cooking channel? Mark 7s are fairly heavy because they're quite thick Kevlar helmets. In general, the thick Kevlar helmets tend to be a bit heavier than a lot of the steel pot helmets, just because they're, although Kevlar itself is lighter than steel, it's because they make the Kevlar so thick for the protective quality of them. But they're comfortable Mark 7s because they've got a very good line system. Not quite as good as this helmet's liner, but about 150, I'd imagine. MG Gaster, or Magaster, however your name's pronounced. What things Mike replying to? I want to read the original comment where he said there was 8+. Yeah, the one ticking away is a Geiger counter. If you didn't hear the noise, I'll just demonstrate how the noise changes when radioactive stuff gets closer and closer to it. So yeah, that's the noise, and that pretty much proves it works as well. But yeah, that's the noise Geiger counters make in real life when they get exposed to horrible levels of radiation. I've never actually seen the covers for sale, Stug. I know they exist, but I've never seen them. Oh, actually, I did see one for sale once. I bid on it, and I think it ended up going for like 50, 60 quid. I wasn't going to bid that much for literally, a fabric cover with raindrop camo on, because you could make your own for a lot less than that. Too much is the answer for that, Commandant. So too much. Soviet Union says, please respond, but I don't see another comment he's already made in like the last 10 comments. You keep asking very political questions, Jadis, so I'm going to put you in a timeout. Do it again, you're getting blocked, because I asked you right when you first came on not to do political things, and you keep saying, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And asking things to do with geopolitics, so don't do that. Yeah, take the filters out first, and old bandit, with a cheek filter mask. Don't wash them with the filters in for obvious reasons. If I can find that seller, Stug, and that they do shipping for not too much, I would buy one, definitely. Hang on. I've not seen a documentary on it, but I've seen the film they made years ago about it, Iron Man. What was it called? Survivors? The film, though. Alive? Was that the name of the film? I've seen it because they put like people's skin, don't they, on like a bit of metal so it cooks in the sun. I've seen the film, but I've not seen a documentary. Was it an Argentine rugby team? It crashed in the mountains, didn't it? Yeah. I know exactly what you're on about, but I don't know the actual exact name of it. No, I don't have a British World War II baby's mask. I've got the Mickey Mouse kids mask, like the bright red one. But I don't have like the weird baby respirator where the mother had to keep pumping it or the baby would suffocate to death. If you mean the World War I film, no, I haven't seen that. I've not really intended to go out and see it. Or watch it when it's online on Netflix or something like that. What's your budget, Ilias? It's going to totally depend on your budget. Bear in mind, I can only tell you what turns up on the UK surplus market at certain prices. But if you give me a rough budget idea, I can kind of recommend you a very good mask for that budget, potentially. But if you end up saying like 10 to 20 euros, there's not going to be much I can recommend you for that price. You can't really get dog and cat gas masks anymore. If you want to get NBC Survival for the whole family, buy one of those NBC Survival tent things where you can have them pumped with filters attached to an air pump. The overpressure, you're not going to get masks for your dogs and cats because nobody would bother making them. €40, and you're in Germany. I imagine you're not going to get an M2000, are you, for that? You could get an M65 for less than €40, and probably like with all the accessories. There's some quite good gas masks you can order from China and probably get less than €40, like the MF11 and the like rip-off. What's it one? This one, the one that rips off a 3M mask and it's stealing another mask in the process. There we go. These you can get probably for less than €40 quite easily. All right, let me have a quick. Oh shit! I'm gonna knock everything off. I want to put those back then. I'll just put them there. Geiger counters, guns and gas masks at the moment, but that changes. It just depends on what I pick up. Because, like most people, sometimes I'll think this is my favourite thing at the moment, then I'll go off it and want something else. Let me just Google that name and Stug and see if I can find the seller. All right, I found the seller. Thank you. Oh, and I think I've got to... Oh, pay now on 3 items. Right, I'll do that as soon as I end the stream. Oh, cool, he sells East German buttons separately as well. I don't know if I have any need for more East German buttons, but it's kind of interesting to know. Right, the word cover doesn't come up with anything. M56. I'm not finding any on his account for some reason, unless he's called them something weird. Helmet. Let me try that. He's got that cool East German paratroopers helmet though. NVA speedboat helmet. That's pretty cool. But sadly, I can't see the strict arm cover on his account, even though I can find loads of other things. If you're asking about America specific Ocean, because they wanted an American gun, not a European gun. If you could find an M2000 for $1, you should buy it regardless. But is it one that has stupidly expensive shipping? Or is it like an auction starting at €1? Because it's going to go a lot higher than that. Yeah, but unfortunately, Stug, it won't let you send the link because there's no way it will let you post a link in a YouTube comment. It will just delete your comment as spam automatically. In practicality, Jadis, NBC, and CBRN are the same thing. In what they actually mean, no. Because the difference is the R in CBRN stands for radiological. So it's chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. But the problem is none of this equipment that they put the term CBRN in actually protects against radiological threats. Because by radiological, what they mean is radiation threats purely, like not, you know, like contamination. Like that's what the nuclear means in NBC, as in it comes from nuclear weapons. So the problem is, like, a regular gas mask is not going to protect you from gamma rays, or a regular NBC suit is not going to protect you from gamma rays. So when people say, oh, this is a CBRN approved mask, well, if you were being exposed to the number 4 reactor, it's not going to protect your genetics from getting scrambled by it. If you found an literal American Mickey Mouse mask for $150, yes. Every single person so far in a comment, though, who has ever said to me, I found an American Mickey Mouse mask, and then whoever, you know, like I've said, can I have a link to it? They've never, it's always been a British one. The American Mickey Mouse one is the one that looks like Mickey Mouse. They're worth literally thousands of dollars. So when you say I found one for $150, I literally do not believe you, because every single time in the past several years of doing YouTube videos, anybody has ever gone to me, I found one. If ever they give me a link, it's never an American Mickey Mouse mask. A small gas mask, I would guess, would fit on you. The point is that, in general, if you're buying an adult's mask, you want to go for the smallest possible size. Like how on there they've got a little kid wearing a GP5 on that poster, because although it's an adult's mask, if you get a small enough GP5, it'll probably fit on a kid. I'll go off in a few minutes because I'm getting quite tired and I need to pay an eBay seller for a load of auctions I just won, which I'm pleased with, but, you know, more money down the drain. Regular Mark 6 won't stop a 9mm at all. Mark 6A will stop a 9mm. Mark 6A is Kevlar. Regular Mark 6 is ballistic nylon. Big difference. I've got an M9A one still in the can, but I opened it myself and I did a video on it, but 30 to 50 pounds, I'd guess. Yes, Chris. I think they were all aircraft dials, if I remember right. Were they all aircraft dials? Let me have a look. Yep. Post-World War II, 1950s RAF turn and bank indicator. That might be radium paint, it might not, but it's cool anyway. Soviet RPM and pressure gauge cockpit instruments. Might be radium, might not, but Soviet instruments are really cool. And a World War II Sea Hurricane airspeed indicator. That's definitely radium painted. All of them I got for not too much money, so I'll pay for all those now. How much do they all add up to in total? All of them are free postage, £30. Oh, £50 for the 4 dials in total, because the 2 Soviet ones are bulked together. £15 for the RAF turn bank indicator, £20 for the 2 Soviet indicators, £15 for the World War II airspeed indicator. Yeah, so £50 total. I think it probably would, Richard, but yeah, it wouldn't stop more than that. And even then, it probably comes down to angle. Well, the EM2 is the rifle. It's a shame we weren't allowed to adopt, because if we had, it was literally the coolest gun ever designed for the period. And it's one of those guns that everybody says, looking back at it in hindsight, it was one of the biggest shames that weapons program got discontinued. But that was completely down to political reasons, not, you know, like practical reasons. The EM2 was literally one of the best rifles designed in the period it came out. The problem was that because America said they wanted something, and America was the big funder of NATO, they literally abandoned the rifle to appease America. Have I tried airsoft? Yes. Have I been airsofting several times? Yes. Do I go? Currently, no. And I've answered that on nearly every stream. Right, I'll go off in a minute because I need to pay for those eBay things. It's been a good stream other than the people asking repetitive or political questions. Were you on, Chris, when I made the Geiger counter scream? Because I'll just do that before I go off if anybody wants to hear a Geiger counter literally scream in agony. I can have a look at thermal evasion suits. I think I covered it in a video, but a lot of cold weather clothing really dampens your thermal signal. But anyway, I will go off now. But what I will do before I go off is show you the noise that Geiger counter makes where the pitch literally changes, where you put radium to it. So if you're wondering what I'm going to put on it, it's radium 226, because old World War II shit, they loved painting in radium 226. So you can already hear it getting faster from here. But yeah, that's the stuff I was able to get the Whatsit to go with as well. You know that Plessy. Have I got the Plessy handy? I'm sure it's in this room somewhere. But yeah, my orange Plessy, there he is. If you remember this from the other day, that was the only thing that I got to change the number on this, because you know everybody goes on the thing says, oh, you'll never get a Plessy to change the number on it. You can't get anything that's hot enough in, like, not in the Cold War to make them change. Yes, you can, because I've done it. Anyway, yeah, see everybody. Have a good evening. This has been a good stream. I won't stream tomorrow because I've got a very busy day tomorrow where I'm going to be out of the house nearly all day, so I don't know if I'm even going to get time to film a regular YouTube video tomorrow. But Tuesday I'll stream, but I won't be able to tell you what time yet. I assume probably in the evening. But so I'll assume at the moment Tuesday I will stream probably in the evening, similar time to today, but can't promise it at the moment. Right, bye. See you all. Goodbye.